All right, a lot happening. Not sure specifically all the liberties that were taken to make some of this happen, but at least in the context of this play, he really combines these two supreme ordeals by making essentially his arrogance and his impulsiveness that is part of the Reynolds pamphlet come into play to the other thing with losing his son and the tragedy is forging that as a direct line within this play. I'm not sure if I kind of suspect that's invented, but it feels invented.
Wait,
the direct line that Philip got into the duel because of an insult about his father.
I don't know if that even comes up in the
Yeah. It feels very convenient, powerful, and it works for the context of this show, but it's very convenient. Thematically, what does burn really do when we talk about kind of the themes about history is, kind of who tells the story and perspective? What is happening over the course of burn?
Oh, Eliza's removing herself from history, but in a way because they don't want to understand. She kind of wants to remove herself so they don't understand that she broke her heart, or he broke her heart, and they can't analyze what she went through.
I think in a sense, Eliza was already hurt because Hamilton went and told their story, their private story to everyone. And so in a way she's trying to remove that from happening again. She's like, okay, you already told everyone how you cheated on me. Before you told me, you told the world. I'm not going to let the world know what it did to me.
Also, sorry.
Yeah.
It was like the positive part that she burned. She says she's burning all the letters that might have redeemed you. Like I don't know. I already saw how.
Well, it's something. All of that things, yeah.
Yeah, especially in the play, there's like this clear admiration that Eliza has for Hamilton, and so like basically him kind of going back on everything that she believes he felt about her is how, at least how she perceives it.
Yeah.
She probably just wanted to give her like a trace of the memory that she had, and the letters were like a tangible way to do that.
It's also, I just want to note that it's also very connected to Hurricane. There's a song in between, but in Hurricane he's saying, I wrote my way out, like as if writing has been his salvation. And here's this direct evidence that how in this case he thought writing was his salvation to explain what happened in this affair. And that's why she's burning his writings and her writing.
So he just directly says, I wrote my way out, now he can't write his way out. I think it's also a really clever way of covering a hole in history. Indeed, really that imagination. A lot of why we have, Chernow's 900-page book is that two people were prolific writers. I mean, Hamilton himself, as we everything wrote about everything. I felt, but not only that, through his letters to Eliza and back and forth, Eliza wrote on a lot of things personal. But there is just, a trove of material, except for there is. She didn't leave a note saying she burned anything. There's just this hole for Eliza's communication and Hamilton's communications and letters that disappeared at this time. So this is, I think, just a really wonderful way of taking a creative liberty with how they might have felt, how they've done at the moment, while at the same time acknowledging the direct fact that what actually happened is that history for this little moment has been erased. It very cleverly accomplishes two things at once there. Did you have?
I think though that the burn though is because he did write his way out of that. He did, but Eliza got burnt though.
Eliza got burnt, but no, at the moment he did not write his way out of his political career. Temporarily, he didn't know that something else is going to bring him back as we get to the road back. But he didn't write his way out. The writing is defending himself still more or less destroyed his political career at the moment. So.
Well, like when we were reading that other excerpt from something that was almost a calculated move that he volunteered that information up, that insult or that chink in his armor to protect from maybe, like the threats of being charged with treason and stuff like that. it almost, when we were doing the other reading, it was almost like it implied that, you know, that was substantiated claims, like, but yet he, you know, he shucked and whatever.
I'm not sure what, you know, in real life were all the complete motives, but I definitely feel in the context of this play that Hamilton's motive is to think that everybody's going to understand his well-written, you know, way of speaking about his transgressions and go, oh, that's okay. He didn't commit treason, he didn't spend other people's money.
And to some extent, but I think Nathan's question is, didn't it actually get him out of it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, he didn't get the illegal charges, but it's still temporarily, and barring a significant event in here, pretty much derailed his political career.
Yeah, he didn't become president.
And I think Adams was.
He wasn't hung though. For
Yeah.
treason, you know.
Well, I mean, he wasn't guilty of the stuff he wasn't guilty of, but I think he was hoping to also save his political career in the process, not just save his hide. And like I said, Jefferson's statement in there, I'm never going to be president now, was pretty accurate. I don't think there's any question that Hamilton had his sights set on presidency.
Yeah. You had your hand up.
Oh, no, I was gonna say the same thing, but yeah. That answered what I was gonna say. Yeah.
So that's why we're at what we call the kind of the supreme ordeal. And remember, in the terms of the heroic journey, usually the supreme ordeal is lost. You know, everything looks all is lost, and before the road back, before they get back on track with their career. And kind of inherent in that statement, this next song really addresses what film has kind of added another step into there, because it's inherent for the road back to happen and the supreme ordeal is lost. There needs to be this moment of reflection at the loss. In film, in the book called Save the Cat, and I love their term, they refer to this section as the big gloom. And it's usually the moment, in some films it's very, very short, some they dwell on it longer, but it is that moment kind of after the supreme ordeal is lost. It gives the hero a chance to wallow. It gives the audience a chance to go, oh my gosh, let's root for him to get back. And so the next song that we'll listen to and we'll discuss, it's Quiet Uptown, definitely addresses that portion of the story. All right, let's take a listen.